Hello, guten Tag, good morning, ciaone, nice people. How it's going? Here, we are back on game development. Back again to win. Well, no, to participate. That's what we are doing. We participate with style and explosions. I should see if I can put some explosion in there, apart the beta testing skill. So, we are again on our dodge everything game. What we are doing today? Well, we are focusing a little more on the dodging mechanic. Because for now it's not really well programmed, it's a little dodgy. Sorry, the joke could have been better, I know. So, how is the dodge for now? Let's see. We should also work on the bounce, but for now we see. So the dodge is something like this. Well, first there's a minigame to dodge, like pressing the button. I would do more like gather pieces of a shield or something. The second dodge is this. The spikes. When they came out, you need to react and press the button to dodge. Every time it gets harder though. And I should make that, I don't know, at the start of the turn, depending if you got it or not, you don't have to dodge another time. There should also be some sort of fail button or something. Still, the main problem now we have is if we try to dodge onto an enemy, we get a problem, because, well, wait, let's try again. Now, I dodge onto the goblin, but I cannot move because the goblin is in the middle, so I soft lock the game. And this is a no-no. Well, the main solution would be, first I think I should have checked the direction to dodge, but maybe the better way would be to have the skip if cannot move to each direction. Here, so, if I cannot dodge, I just won't move. There is another problem with this, though a little less harsh one. Which is, I probably will still dodge even if I don't move, let's see. Yeah. Counts as a dodge, though I will still stay inside, so it still triggers. So the player will not really conveniently dodge all the damage, but it's still not something I want. I want, if the player is not able to move, to just fail, instead of trying again. I don't think would happen, but in case it happens. I just need to check if the player is on the same spot. So let's see. Does the value get updated here? I'm not sure if at some point I didn't want the value to not get updated. I don't think it's important. Let's see. Okay. The true coordinates are saved here, so we can use x2, x and y. Okay. So, on the simple dodge, before starting. Oh, right here. I should make a better flowchart here. So. Let's see here. If the dodge was on a correct direction, only if there are limitations. Okay. Otherwise, it's wrong. Failed dodge. That failed dodge is only there, so wait. Okay. Here if it's failed, but also if you don't press a button. you fail. And not pressing too early maybe? And wrong direction. Okay. If you move the wrong direction, you shouldn't be allowed to dodge, but it's not something we are doing now. What happens if you press too early? That should have been here. Ah. Loop suspense. Check if pressing too early. If you press, you go here. Fail dodge too early. Where is it? Here. Okay, so there are two ways to fail then. Okay, simply you don't get a chance to try to dodge. So it's the same error, but you go here without even pressing a button. Not pressing anything. Okay, it's the same result as not pressing anything. Now, if you instead press something here, I should first check if the player moved. So I should make just a small frame weight and make a check if the player moved. So if the x coordinate is the same as we should do it in a single condition to avoid problems. So we compare variable 2 with variable 7 and 3 with 8. So we compare the x coordinate of the player. I should actually get game player x. It's this simple, right? We get if the player x is the same of the old x. Which is saved on variable 7. And we compare also the y with the old y, which is saved on 8. If it happens, then it means I don't want to select anything here. It means dodged on something solid, not valid. So you go to the fail dodge, which is here. There is no tag for it. I should jump here. Well, I could actually do the check here. Though I want the weight. I can do the weight before. It's better. The weight before. Should only... Okay. So, before, so in this way, we can change the outcome of this. Because if it's true, we don't dodge. No, we dodge. If it's false, we fail. That means, if we dodge... There is here dodge mechanic. Here, dodge listener. When you dodge, it sets the dodge direction to somewhere. We can just set this to 0 to automatically say, yeah, you failed. Where was I? Here. Let's set it to 0, and now this one will be considered failed. Okay. Before this, though, we need to update the x and y values to let the game remember where the character is. We can do it here. Let's see. Hoping there's not a problem. or a bug or all of those. Let's move again. I'm dying. Okay, there should have been an animation, but it's here. It's somewhere around here. So we can definitely do it. It should stop midway. But it's fine. Okay. If we need, we can update it later, but it's not a priority. For now, it's fine that it works. And we can remove this one. Now, I want to work a little more on the dodge mechanics. We already parameterized the buttons. Right. We can... let's see. Here. Button press minigame. If the dodge type is 11. We can define the number of buttons. Even if... I should have made it a little more clear, right? Where is it? There is a number that defines how many times it spawns. I don't remember where is it. Because I'm pretty sure there is a parameter here to decide how many they spawn. It only spawns one for now. I want to change the value. Maybe the value 47? Whatever it does. Ah yeah, here. Dodge requirement button pressed. We already changed the number, but let's see. If we do 2... Could be harder, could be still easy, I don't know. Here, definitely harder. We can tweak the timer and everything. Talking about tweaking the timer. Here, the timer is fixed, right? Here, the timer is here. We should also have a parameter for the timer. Because I want, of course, having different difficulties for the dodges. When there is the dodge of pressing the buttons, I don't want it to be always with 1 or 2 buttons. I want it to be harder I don't know, the further we go with the game, for example. I want to have some sort of difficulty in it. So, and also, would be interesting to have the difficulty slightly increase the more we go into the battle. Yeah, we should count the number of turns. We can do it right away, so. Start of player turn, here we do a simple... Game starts here. Turn count. We increase it by 1 every start of the player turn. The important part is we reset it every start of the game. Okay. Now the game starts with the turn 1. And to implement it into the timer, I think it's decently easy, but for now. So, let's see, on the dodge mechanic, here, we should add the timer parameter, but not here, but on the skill. So for example, the enemy skill here has the where is it? Dodge type. We should also add the timer. And we add milliseconds, like 100, right? Yeah. Or was it? I think it was frames. Still, here. We have the timer. Now we need to read the parameter. Where do we read it? Well, we read the parameter of dodge, the type of minigame we need to do. That means we already are reading it somewhere. Probably here? No. Before. We save it on dodge type, 43. We probably do it or on enemy turn. Okay, here. Enemy turn. We get the action data the enemy is doing. And we get... it's not here though, right? Action data. Again, it's saved. Ah, okay, dodge type is 43. So 43, maybe it's below here. It has to be somewhere, 43. I don't see anywhere using the skill. Ah, here, okay. Dodge type, get dodge AD from move. We can do a similar one. Get dodge. Or we can save both variables here. I think it would be better to have different values though. 43. Dodge timer here. Dodge time from move here. We have a similar variable. That means we need to create it, but I think it's pretty trivial. We should add some phase states though. So it's a dodge ID from move here. Okay. We return the skill used. We should add the phase state again. Let's see. Let dodge type is this thing. We expand the code a little, but we do the same thing. We just separate the things a little. And if dodge type is not undefined, we return the dodge type, convert it into a number. Otherwise, we have a problem. We say, we show literally on screen, warning, dodge ID not defined. Default to 11. Default to 11. And we return the one of the buttons. We can use it as default. We can do a similar, we need to do a similar one for the timer. We get a move, which is the same, and this time we get timer, or how did I describe it? Timer, okay. So it's timer, and this time it defaults to 100. Timer not defined. Skill dodge timer not defined. Here, same thing. Okay. The default is 100, right? It's not even a lot, but as default one in case of an error. We should be a little more lenient. In case we have an error, the player should not be punished, right? So let's say 500. Okay. And that's it. And now we need to apply this parameter. So as I said, it's the variable 48, the dodge timer. That means when you set the timer for it, we should use the variable 48. Only on this one? Do I use it anywhere else? No. Okay. So when the dodge type is 11, that happens. Should we test it? Let's change the value and see what happens. We double the value, we probably will see the difference. I knew it. Did I save? Get dodge time. Time! R. I was this close. Dodge timer from move. Yeah, you can see the timer is more lenient now. Okay, here we press the button. Ah, yeah, there is another one. I'm dead. Wait, if I keep the button pressed, it counts as a mistake, right? I think it's fine. Well, is it? Because if the player moves too fast, they will definitely get stuck on the spikes. Let's see. Yeah, I should add a little weight. Or I can just check if the player presses the button, not holds it. This will get rid of the problem if the player holds a button to move, which is pretty natural even. So yeah, here. Is being pressed? No, is being triggered. Okay, though, do I check if it's been okay, pressed? No, wait, pressed. That means I can keep the button down. No. Needs to be triggered the first time. Otherwise, you can keep the button down at this point. Let's see. It's a weight of every frame, right? So it shouldn't be a problem. Let's see, simple dodge. There is a dodge listener loop with a weight of 1 frame. So yeah, there's no way to not read the input. Let's see. Let's see again. Yeah, it seems to count correctly. Yeah, I think it does. It needs some time to start the waiting for input process, but I think it's fine. Okay, we improved on it. Now, what do we need? We should work on other mini games ideas that require the entire board. It's not something simple to make. I want to do some Sokoban though. And not any Sokoban. So I want the player to be able to push the player around. And there should be some traps on it. So, the Sokoban one is a little hard to make. Because I need to push the original player position. Let's see. We should move them on another part though, on another side. Here. Easy. So, buttons. The 11. So we can just... where does it end? Okay. Let's just copy everything and move it here. And now we can call this event the buttons. Wait, here. Okay. How can I move everything outside? Okay, here. We have the button minigame right there. So, now, the 12. Sokoban. So here with the dodge type is 12, we call the Sokoban. It's Sokoban time. How does it work? So first, needs to set up, right? If the dodge type, okay, here. I think it should, this should be defined here inside, right? There's no sense in checking twice the dodge type, right? Okay, it's not even working here, the dodge requirements, yeah. Yeah, this definitely needs to be defined in the skill. We should work on this code, because should be done better. So, instead of having one for each, like the ID, the timer, we should have all the info all together. So, the touch dodge info from move. And this time we get everything. The dodge, the timer, and all of that. And instead of returning all by once, we return an array. So we return, let's see, we return an array of dodge type, then the timer, then the requirements, which will be, for example, the number of buttons to press. And what else? Well, if we need anything else, we'll add it here. Okay, so the return will be at the end regardless. Oh, did they delete something? Yeah, okay. But before, we still need to check. So, if the dodge type is not defined, we alert as always. Warning, dodge ID not defined, default to 11. And we set it to 11. Same thing, but this time we change the value before returning it. We do the same for everything, just in case we forget anything. I don't think we would, but in case. Always be safe. Okay, timer defaults to 500, which is a lot. And the requirements. Default to, let's say, 2. Okay. We got our stuff to cover our butt. And now we need to change variables, because now they work differently. Because now it's not a simple variable. Now it becomes an array. And this one, it's not needed anymore. Okay. So, if variable 43 has every information. Let's see, dodge mechanic. Ah yeah, we also need the dodge sentence. I think this is specific to the dodge type, not the skill. So this will be defined in the dodge here. Okay. Meanwhile, the requirements, again, is defined in the other variable, which we can get here, though. Which was it? The 43. We should change the name, dodge info. 0 ID. 1 is the timer. 2 requirements. Okay. So variable 43. And as we said, it's in the parameter number 2. Okay. And again, this one should be defined somewhere else. Let's say, I would say in the event itself, because some dodges doesn't require this info. That's why maybe I shouldn't warn the requirements, just console log it. Okay. The rest is required. So now this one is not needed anymore. I think though, now to call the button minigame, the value needs to be 11, but it's not a single value now, it's an array. That means we need to read it differently. We are not reading the variable itself now, we are not reading the entire variable, we are reading the first value of the variable. Otherwise it's an error. 43, and with the variable 0. If it's 11, it's the dodge minigame. If it's 12, it's the Sokoban minigame. And what are we Sokobanning? What's the passive version of Sokoban, or the verb version of Sokoban? Sokobanning? Sokobanking? Sokobanning. I would say Sokobanning is the closest one. Oh, even here we forgot to set the condition if it's 1. Okay. How does it work? Well, first let's compare them, because we should have, again, the dodge sentence. Dodge at the... For now, Sokoban, but I will change it with something. And dodge requirement is already there, okay. So what do we want to do? I want to spawn some rocks that may be annoying. How do I want it to do? Because I don't simply want to have the player move some... Okay, a good solution would be to have the... That's what I want to do. I want the... I think it's hard to explain. Let me show in the game. Dodge ID not defined? For what? Why it's not... why it's not working now? At least I'm glad I did... I wanted to place the alert, so... Get dodge info from move. Why it's not working? The skill ID is this one. We get variable from that. Also, why does it... I'm confused. We should print it. Everything. Dodge info. That's how I do my beta testing. Or my bug testing. Okay. Not a number. But the dodge ID though is defined. Can I Oh, you freaking... here, let me check the background, okay. So, here... It's 11. Oh, can you shut up in the background? So, here it says... 1100 not a number, because, again, requirements is not defined yet. It's fine. But the timer is defined. Why is it wrong? Ah, yeah, because I got the wrong condition here. Should be equal to undefined. Okay. To cast the wrong message. Yeah. Still, why it's not casting the move though? Maybe it's a problem later. So dodge mechanic. If it's 11, you do the button dodge. Let's see. We should see it from the console though, 43. Should do it after here. Ah wait, it works, 43. 11, 202, it's right, absolutely right. Though we had no time. Yeah, the time is 0, that's pretty BS. Ah, because we still need to update the code here. Yeah. The timer is not on variable 48, which is 0, but it's on variable 43. On the value number 1. Okay, and the requirement is placed here. We could have it on the same on a single variable, but I think it's better to have it like this. Though, why does the other say dodge at 0? Here. Where it clearly defines it here. Let's see. Nothing really works when I want. It does say A after. Oh, why? Ah, because maybe... Yeah, because we write it before. I don't... I think we can just do like this. We have it... dodge text here. And we call it from anywhere. Because it's defined after we call it. We can just do this. Okay, it will not be a simple text box. That's why I'm delegating it to a common event. Here, dodge at the buttons. Simple. So we have the same thing here. And now, how do we manage the Sokoban? So, the plan is, I wanted to show, but I kinda forgot. So, as you can see, the player is separated now from the body. Because, well, it's complicated. Okay, but it's separated so he can play the minigame while staying on the same tile. I want a similar thing, but this time the physical body can be pushed around. I push the physical body around to dodge the attack. So how should I go with it? I can just push it away from the hitbox. But I kinda want to have other obstacles in the middle. I need to reach him by pushing rocks around. The problem is if I place random rocks, there's a possibility of being a soft lock. So there should always be a solution, which is not easy to program really. And I cannot even make a case by case because depends on where the player is and where the enemy is also. So first I should let the player start a little far from the player. I would say 5 tiles away. The minimum that it's possible. If it's on the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles, it's perfect. And I should place rocks around the map. Again though, how do I know there's a way? Well, I can do it the opposite. I could program a right path and then place random rocks around it. Is it possible? Like here, sure. Let's say this rock moves. I want the player to, well, move the rock forward, for example. But I want first to define the right path. So, for example, if I say the right path is this, let's say the player is this one. The right path, for example, should be this. Though there's not really a right path because I need to push the rocks. There should be a path including rocks to push away. For example, here there's a is there backtracking on pushing around rocks? Yeah, because for example, if there are rocks like this, the solution, if there are other things blocking the way, the solution would be, let's see, would be here to push this one forward, then turn back, go here, push this one forward and this one on the side. So I walk twice on this tile. I don't know if there's a simple way. Like, I want something really simple. I don't want to create a Sokoban game entirely inside this one. But here I walk twice on this tile, so I want something to consider this. I could do, let's see. Let's see, if I could make a code that randomly draws a path, like this one, and kinda requires the player to do it. For example, it cannot take the shortest path, for example, because there's a rock in the middle, for example. Like, it cannot take this path because there's a rock here. It cannot go straight. And so it goes here. Though if I generate a random path like this, it cannot walk like this. So I need to put another obstacle here. But there's no multi-push, right? So that means here you will get stuck. Well, some paths I don't think are reasonable, right? How is usually the path of a Sokoban? Let's see. If I place random rocks like this, let's say the bounds are those. And then also the enemies can be considered the blocks, obstacles. The solution here, well, there is no solution. Yeah, there is a solution here. I go here, I push this one forward, I push this one to up, and this one right. And the way is here. So that means every corner is I stop pushing a rock. I think this is simple enough. You see, the line is pretty straight and simple. You don't go over complicating, right? And at the end of every corner, there is a stop. So I should just randomly generate a zigzag through the end. Here. And make it probably the optimal way. Could also not be, but the rest will be randomly generated. So if there is a better path, good for the player, right? Okay, I enjoy this. Again, could not be just a straight diagonal. Could be like a little on the right. Wait. Could also be a little on the right. Go up and return back. Here. That means though the rest will be a little filled with rocks. Making it a little more hard to push. Okay. So how do we want to do it? So as I said, the maximum distance is, if the player is here, for example, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5, but if it's possible, I could do a little more. That means we need to place the player on a random tile on that distance. If it's not possible, we decrease it by 1. Okay. So the idea is, we first generate... Wait, that's not over, right? Because we need to push the player away to victory. Which is slightly more complicated. Unfortunate, because I like this idea of a randomly generated Asakuban puzzle. But if the player is here, the gem, and it's in this range, but there are rocks around, there should be a way to push him away. But generating that is a little harder. I cannot just generate a random path. As I said here, this path. Because you see, I need to go here and push the player, but for example, if there is a rock here and here, it's impossible. There should be a way to push the player away from it. Well, we can do the same, right? We generate a random path that starts on one side. Yeah, we draw two paths. One to one side of the player, and the other one from that side to push the player outside. We can make another path that passes through and goes on any end of the corner. Because in this way we push it around. In the worst case should be a round up. Because to push this thing away, again, the range, we can draw the range. This is the range of the attack. We can highlight it a little more. Okay. This is the range of the attack. We can make it a little bigger even. Here. Bigger is better, huh? Okay, range of the attack. I should throw again the player. The player is at the center. So, first I draw a path near the player. And then we draw a path from here to let the player outside. So we can just draw a straight line at this point. I would like to make it a little more harder, where you need to first push something out of the way and then reach the player, but it's overly complicated, right? Would be pretty nice, but I don't know how to program it. Let's keep it simple, right? We can just push the player right outside and so keep all the way clean. Or we can add a loop here. Because if, for example, there is a rock right behind the player, we cannot push it away. We first Not here, wait. Here. If it's a rock here, and we are here, we cannot push it away in this side. So we need to push it right. Then we go down, right, and push it up twice. But again, we don't need to calculate that. We just randomly draw a loop here, you see. Instead of drawing a straight line, we walk back, right, up. This to change the... to move it up instead. So we could probably here randomly generate how many loops it needs. Probably with a harder difficulty could be a little harder. If there is no path, I don't know. We should first start with the final path to see if there's a way out. If there's not, then how do we do? Because there's a possibility of the player being on the corner. Here. In that case, it's impossible to bring it out. Unless the player is able to walk outside of the map. How do we do in this case? Also, if the player would even be allowed outside of the map, there could be decorations outside that block the player. Like water. Here I was designing some places for a battle, and for example, this could be an arena, and if the player is on the corner, it's impossible to push it in a safe place. So how do we do in that case? Well, we should just generate a different minigame at that point. If there is no way, we generate another type of minigame. We could move the player, but I don't like the idea of moving it since it's the whole point of the Sokoban. We could have some sort of punishment. If the player is on the corner, he cannot dodge. Maybe there's a message on screen that says impossible dodge. No. Player in the corner, dodge impossible. Since we know there is not a path, since we calculate all of it. Okay, that's nice. It's a punish. It's an extra layer of strategy for the player then. It needs to be in a good position to have more than one more than one answer possible, or even one in this case. So what do we need to do? As I said, we need to draw two paths. One from a side of the player to a end for the range, which should be inside the arena, and usually should be on a direction from the player. Like if the player is here, should not be on the left here. So should be or up, right, or below. So first, then we need to generate the arrival direction of the player, where the player will arrive. Left, up, bottom, or right. That depends on the possible exits. So we could have the straight exit here, or the side exit, which is not... Depends on the type of range the move has. Depends on the type of move. But usually I just want or a simple straight, go away, or we can make a loop if the move is wider than something. But usually I could make those moves. always wide, at least one. Or doesn't matter. We can calculate it like this. But if the player manages to save it before, it's fine. Okay, so again, we decided the exit. We decided based on the difficulty. On the... Yeah, the difficulty of it. I want to kinda require this thing if the difficulty is high enough. We should have a parameter for it. For now, we can avoid it. Get it, avoid it. Why can't I see anything here? Bake. Can you get a little bigger? Oh, come on, why now I cannot read anything? Why it's getting harder to read every time? Ah, come on, get to... Why? Just why? I don't understand. Tony Stark. Not even like this, come on! I swear there's a problem with this. Slider, come on. We'll see later. Not too many, too many. So, probably dodge. I cannot even read what's on the side. Battle logistic. Player turn. Player dodge. Okay, here. We have function. How do we set up this? We can have a main function. Here is define Sokoban dodge setup. We don't need any input because we know the type of skill the enemy is using. So what do we need to do? We don't have to define or to check if the player does every move correctly. We just need to check if the player moves the target outside. First, we need to get the possible escape routes. So if it's possible to push this straight here or straight one step in aside and then perpendicular. So we have to check 4 directions here until it's outside of the range, and then other 8 directions, all there. If none of those work, then it's impossible. Well, it would still be possible, I think, but we stop here, okay? Well, maybe could still be an extra push here and above. We can do the extra one if we want. Like here, here, here and here. Doesn't cost as much, right? Okay, so first we need to define default straight. Let's go for true, which is if try to if I prefer having the easy solution. Okay. This should be later. Wait. Function is define second part of path of Sokoban path. Okay, here. Because it's split into parts, as I said. This should be defined here. And I call it here, define second part of sock1 path. And I probably need to define or to set the coordinates of the player, X and Y. Well, we already know those, right? So I don't think we even need those. Player X is game player X. Let player Y game player Y. Pretty simple, huh? Okay, so how do we define it? First, we need to find if there is a path for each direction. How do we find it? So, I can't believe the hardest part is to program the stupid mini games of the game. If it even works. So, we have the coordinates. We need to see if it's outside of the range. We should make a function. Is position outside of move range. We make things easier. So, skill ID, chords. We can make X, Y, skill ID. And we return true or false. Do we have something of the sort already? Not really. I should have done it before, but now we need it. So, I hate that it doesn't throw anything here. Why can't you? I swear. So, the skill ID is the one the enemy is using. And we need to get... we just need to get the target. So we know all the information from the enemy move on the start of enemy turn here, on the defined move. Action data here, it's saved on game variable 53. So action data game variable 53. So we don't even need the skill ID. Ah, wait, we needed to call this. So here, we check the coordinates and the skill ID is stored here. Action data, value 0 maybe? That's not enough because we need also to consider the focus point. So target point. Okay, because we need to know the coordinates where it's targeting towards. We already know the target point, right? From the action information here. The move ID, oh wait, the move ID is 0. And the target information X and Y is on variable 0 and 1. 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, both of them. So 1, 0, 0, and the Y is in 1, 0, 1. Induction data. Okay. While the coordinates of the side to check, we need to check every direction. So, First we check directly forward for each direction. I wonder if there's a better way. Yeah, we can have an array to get every direction. Yeah. Can I sum two arrays? I forgot how to do it. I want to sum two arrays. I already did it, but I forgot. I'm pretty sure I did something of the sort right here. Or before. When I look for coordinates. Here, maybe. Yeah, here. Map. Let me copy this. Okay. And we are back here. So. First we define a direction values. That means we check every direction. And on each direction we sum specific values. If I want to check the type below, we sum 0 to the x coordinate and we sum 1 to the y coordinate. If I want to check the tile on the left, I subtract 1 to the y coordinate and add 0 to the x and so on. So 1, 0 and 0 minus 1. Okay, that's the idea. That will make things, I hope, a little easier. So now we do a loop. I, as always, set by, let's start by 0, sure. I less than 4. We check every direction. And we increase it every loop. So every loop, what do we do? In each loop we check one direction. So we should check this tile if the player is already safe. This one, and this one, so on, until we are out of the arena. Or out of the range. So we need to do another loop. This time we don't know how long it goes. So we should do a while. While the player is in arena. Inside arena. Okay, here is tile inside arena. What are the parameters we need? X and Y. Returns a boolean. So while the player is inside arena and we put the coordinates X and Y. Or, yeah. What are the X and Y? Well, they start with player X and player Y. But they increase in every loop. They first probably reset, they should probably reset at the start of each direction loop. So, when I start checking on the left, I increase the value, I change the values. Then I reset them and I check the other direction. That's what I'm doing, I reset the coordinate parameters. And every time we increase them. So instead of having X and Y, we should have the core. No, chords is already used here. Check chords, which should be player X and player Y. Again, we have X and Y, but this time in a single variable. In this way, we can sum this one with those ones. So how was it done? Does map save the parameter? Let's see. Map. I don't think it saves them. Returns a new array. No. So, okay. We need to update it. Check chords becomes itself by mapping every variable. What does it mean? We are summing, we are updating the coordinates based on the direction. So we map the coordinate, every coordinate becomes wait, probably some why there's two of them. We are only updating the two of them. Can I just sum two arrays? I think it's easier, wait. I think there is a, I feel like there's a very easier solution here. I could do a, no, it's map. Map is the solution. Never mind, it's just a little simpler than this. Probably this one. So, let's see. We first define the function. We can do like this, right? Num index. And we do the function like this. And then with each of those, we sum then each number to the specific values here. So we sum the direction value of the current iteration of the current index. What does it mean? I hope it's right. We have two numbers here. I think there's definitely a bit... Yeah, that's definitely a better way. Wait. I'm overcomplicating. I think it's way more readable if I do this. Check coordinates. At this point I can do let x, let y, as I was doing before. Well, it's nice to learn here, but here it's definitely simpler. So x is gameplayer and y is gameplayer y. And first we define them here. Then we have another loop here, while inside arena. If the tile is inside arena. I could even do a... I want to use the structure that nobody uses. Do. While do, right? No, do while. Which I don't even remember how it's done. Probably, wait. Do something like do while. Do while, I never use it. Wait, I don't remember how it's done. Do, yeah, we don't have parentheses here, okay. I never use it. Okay. We can do it more crazy with this. So we can do the do while. It's better if I do the do while because here I default the values, but we start checking only with the next parameter, right? I don't need to check the player where it is. I know the player is inside the arena. That's why the first thing we do in each iteration, we increase the value. X increases by the value of the current direction. If we are checking down, x increases by 0, y increases by 1. So, direction values, we get the current iteration, which if it's 0 it's down, if it's 1 it's left, and so on, with the current index, the current direction. And y checks the y parameter, okay. And that's simple. Okay, and here we check every direction until we go out of the arena, or we find that it's outside the range. So we need to check, is position outside of movement range? We give X and Y, the target point, which is here in action data. I don't remember where. Ah, here. Action data, those parameters exactly. The target, center target point of the skill. Wait, there's a better way, right? Where is it? Come on, I need to save it somewhere safe. Here. Targeted tile info. What was targeted tile info? I forgot. Relative. Wait. No, okay. Tile info of the target is this one. I think we need to get it from the move. So that's why as the last parameter we send the skill ID, which is action data 0, as I said here. We don't need this. We already did it here. Okay. So now for each tile, we check if it's in range, or if it goes outside of range. Again, we want to push the player outside the range. And now, this one has to do the thing. Maybe instead of the skill, I should have the skill range or skill area. Because otherwise I need to calculate it every time. So, what does it mean? We need to calculate it beforehand then. We have get coverage of the skill right here. We want the area. And it returns every tile that is targeted. So we should define it at the start. So targeted tiles, get coverage of the skill. The skill is action data 0. And we want the area. Here it saves every tile it's targeted. That means we need to, instead of sending the skill ID, we need to send all the targeted tiles. Which is relative though, that's why we have to do the calculation here. I'm pretty sure I already have a function even for this, right? I swear. Probably here on get data at the end. Absolute maybe? Convert it here. Oh yes. Okay. Convert relative to absolute. Unfortunately here it wants the event ID instead of the character info. Yeah, because it sums something to the rest. We can map again though. Right. Sounds like a mess. Nah, it's fine. So, again here, we do the thing. So, we have the skill area. We map the skill area. Every single spot in the... Do we need it? Do we even need it? Also should be called like this. Yeah, maybe I'm overcomplicating this part. I need to check if we are moving outside of the range. That means I just need to send the offset here. I already know the offset here. the offset is the direction multiplied by the iteration. So we can simplify it. We just want to see if we are in the skill area. So we just need here the position offset here, which is instead of x and y, it's x and y are relative. Again, we check right here, so relatively it's only one tile on the right and 0 vertically. So it's 1, 0. And that's what we are gonna return. It's, for example, it's 1, 0 in that case. Because it's on the iteration number 3. It checks here, you see, iteration number 3, 1, 0. So it's, again, direction value of the iteration multiplied by the times we increase this value. So we should have a count here. Okay. So we multiply it by count. Same here. We get the other coordinate though, the y. Okay, now we send the offset here, alias the distance from the center we are checking. And since the skill area also has those values, for example, skill area contains every tile, so it has -1, 0, +1, 0, 0, +1, 0, -1. And since you see the values match, we see if both of them have the parameter 0, 1, for example, if we want to check here, or 0, 2 here, or 1, 1 if we want to check here. And it's simple, we just iterate. No, we just check for every skill area value if position offset exists. So, if, or first step for, define j less than skill area length j plus plus. And now we do a condition. If for every tile of the range of the skill, of the area of the skill, we check the x and y. So if the x is equal to the x of the tile we are checking, and same with the y coordinate, that means the skill is still hitting that tile. So return true. Otherwise, return false. Oh, that's so convenient, I like it. Because we don't even need to define a variable. If it's true, then it returns. If this doesn't apply, if it's not true, I don't need to define a variable because this one never runs if this is true. So, or this or this. Pretty convenient. Okay, so this one returns if the position we are checking is outside of the skill range. If it is, then we have a safe route. I think I will stick to the going straight as the answer, because otherwise it might become a little too complicated. Okay. And same maybe with the path, because defining a not diagonal path like this probably messes something up. I will stick with diagonal. Okay. Maybe later I can expand it, but honestly, it's fine like this. So now what do? We save the value. Or we check. If the position is outside of the skill range, that means we found a solution. Or in this case, the solution. We can have this one. If it's outside, then we return. We stop the entire continuing here. Or does it count only in the while? It should return twice. I should define a variable, maybe it's better. Let found a solution false. There's probably a better way, but here it works. Found solution is true. And return. So it will probably leave this do. Now, we can also set the y here. Y equal to 4. So it breaks every loop. Okay. And now, finally we found the solution. If found solution, we return it. What is the solution? We should probably save the entire path we are doing. For now it's simple, but we should have it entirely. Let final path. It's empty. Or we can start on the player coordinates. Here. The first value are the player coordinates. And we add another parameter each step we do. Can we add more than one parameter? So we should here define, let's see. Again, can I add more than one thing in one list? I should join the arrays. Okay, so we have the starting point. Then we should add every other direction. Let me think. Yeah, okay, yeah, we can set every variable. Again, it's not important that the final path is perfect. The important thing is there is at least one solution. So, temp, path checked. Here it's the path we are checking. For now it's empty. And every iteration here, we add another parameter. We add another value here. We are basically saving the path we are checking. We push the x and y. So, wait. We push x and y. That means the final path will have, for example, if we are checking on the right, we'll have 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, and so on. So we will know the path will go on those tiles. Okay. This is getting way more complicated than I wanted, but again, for a stream, I think it's a good experience. And so we add to the path checked those parameters. Though, if we don't find anything, it resets, you see. If we find something, then we join them. We add them to the final path. I don't remember how it works. Let's see. Okay, a new array is a join. Wait. No, wait, that's not join. It's chain, right? How? The join method, yeah. It was... No. Let's... Wait, there was concat, right? Yeah, concat, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah, that's right. For a moment I forgot about concat. Concat, now. Wait, not that cat, right? Concat, not concat. Okay, it returns a new array though. It doesn't update anything. Okay. Good to know. So, concat, and we add the path checked. We need to save it, so final path is this one. And we go back. Wait, this should not be it. It's break, something like that. Yeah, it's not return, it's break. Oof, I was so close. If there is a solution, then we return the final path. Otherwise, we return false. Okay. And here we have a final path. Now, for now it's fine. For now, let's see what it does. Well, it's not over, but for now. We should have a... We are missing one thing. We need to define the step before. So the path checked should start with another parameter, which is the parameter before, because it starts here and goes here, but we need to also consider where the player should be to push this one on the right. Should be right here. So we should consider the step before. We can easily add it here, luckily, which is x and y. The x is this one minus, this time we subtract instead of adding, minus the directional value. And same with y. We subtract the one correspective to the direction. So we set the step before. And we can easily reference this by setting final path the first value. Okay. Now, let's see. This considers the player position, right? Yes, which is not really right because we want to get the true player coordinates, but for now, let's see. Oh wait, we also need to define an area of a skill. Sure, let's see. We define a new skill then. Soko attack for now. Diamond shape, range 3. Sides do we make it pretty big. The dodge is 12, the Sokoban. Here. Dodge text, and we need to call it dodge define Sokoban dodge setup. One thing though, we need to define the true x and y. Let's see if it's done here. Okay, yeah, here, right here. So we need instead to get the value 11 and 12. Because this one is where the player is. We want to know where the... when we need... Let's say... the player needs to move. We want to know the target of where we need to move. Or of what we need to find and push to move away from the range. Why can't I do simple games? It's 11 and 12, right? Also, it's confusing with player X and Y, but should be fine. Not really, but okay. So, here, we define the variables, and now let's see. Let's see if that's enough. Or it can cause a crash. I hope not. There is one extra issue, but we'll see. Wait, the enemies are not using that move, though. Let's see. Now, the enemy now is using only the skill number 10. Soko attack. Let's see. There's an extra mistake I did, but let's see. Wait, I didn't define a timer. Doja Sokuban here, and path checked path is not a function. Well, first, Soko attack. Yeah, I didn't set the timer, right? The timer should be more lenient. Let's say 400. Okay, though, what does it want? 456 is the mistake. Here. The path... here is not defined. What is path? What I'm doing here? What the hell I'm doing here? I need to push! I don't know how I misspelled push so badly, but here. We also have the timer, let's go. Doja Sokuban. And it's not wrong, but doesn't work, doesn't do anything. So, what is this? That's a move. And this is what I was looking for. Here was the way to go away. Let's see if this one is the same. So this is the move. Let's screenshot because it doesn't last long. Okay. And now you can see here. What the hell is this? No, that's... Okay, never mind, this one. Okay, it says the path to push us away. It gives priority to moving downwards. Which, it's not always the right solution, but... Doesn't matter, because as long as there's a solution, it's fine. You can see it says 5, 6, 5, and 7. Oh, why the one is lower? Ah, wait, because it's the starting spot, yeah. So 5, 5, 6, 7. You can see 5, 5, 6, 7. It tells the game to... I can just push the player downwards once. And it's the right solution. What if I stay in a here, like? The solution would be to push me on the left, right? Yeah. 5, wait. 5, 7, 6, 8. It still tells me to push me downwards, right? 7, 6, 8. Yeah, it tells me to push downwards, but downwards it's not fine. Yeah, because it's time inside the arena, it checks after we do it. Yeah, not my wisest moment here. I should probably check for the next tile then. Like this. A little redundant, but it works. I should check for the tile after. Here. I should move on the right. Left, let's see. Still asks me to move downwards, outside of the arena. Oh yeah, because it does it the first time regardless. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done like this. Yeah, maybe the do while can stay not used at this point. You can just do a while directly. We can not run it if we feel like it, right? Okay. Now it checks before the first run, which maybe is better for everything, for everybody, for everything. Let's see. Yeah, tells me to... why the numbers are so different? Why there's a 3-7? So starts at 5, a 6, no, 5, 6. Wait. No, the starting point is 6, right? No, it's 5, 7, which is the first one, yeah. The starting point. Then the spot to push from, which is 6, 7. And they push on 3, 7. That's outside of the map, boy. Also, let me see again. It's the same here. It's the same. Though I realize the number should repeat, right? This is the tile below, this is the actual tile. No, never mind. It doesn't repeat anything. Though it skips a value for some reason. Why? Oh, my bad. Here I increase the x by 1 value. It should just check the next value. I forgot it returns the actual value, having a sum. Well, having a assignation sum. Let's see. Now it tells me to push left once, and it's right. If two enemies do the same though... No, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, so now we got the path to the exit. So now we need to find a path to the destination point. I want to make it zigzag like this, but there's a problem if it's straight in front of the player. Though it's not a problem because I can always find a zigzag position, right? To set the player. If the player is, let's say, here is straight, which I don't want. I can easily put it here. If it's in the middle here, I can still find a zigzag place like this one. Okay. That means I need to find the best spot to be away. I should probably take the most far part of the map. I should check the distance from each side and find the right area to let the player move inside. This one. Pathfinding, not even pathfinding, is puzzle finding, which is way harder. So we need to find this side. After we find the side, we can place the player on the opposite side, or at a certain distance. And from here, determine a random path. Like this. We should first define which direction we are pushing from. So we should find the distance not from the center but from the pushing position. So if it's here, we need to have it here instead. Something like this. Okay. So we need to get this position, which we know it's the second value we have. Because it's the one we define at the start of each for checking each direction. So let path 2 here. We have the path 2 is the and path 1 tile is the second part of path 2. Okay. And we have it. Now, path 1 is instead defined first part of Sokuban path, and we send as a parameter the ending path tile. And now we do another thing like this. Oh no. Okay. We do a similar thing, kinda. And we should also know the entire path and what the player will return. Path 1 info, I will call it. Okay. So now we need to make this function. Alas. Function. Define first part of Sokuban path. Start. Oh. And the tile. Okay. So, what do we do? Hell, I don't know. Let's try to reason it together. Why every stream is more complicated than the others? Why can't I do a simple game? I already said it, right? We need to check the distance from the border. We already have the coordinates of the border though, right? Here. Marina start X and then X. Pretty simple. So, we need to find the X and Y direction. So we can do a simple if my arena and X. We can start with the start X. So we check the left side of the arena with like this part. And we see a distance from here. So we can do an absolute mat abs and tile the X coordinate and we subtract the start. In this way we will get the distance from the left side. If the distance from the left side is more than the distance from the right side, Marina and X. That means, what does it mean? Wait. The distance is more on the first case, so. Further from the left side of the arena. Okay. Else the other case. We do the same with the vertical position. So my arena start Y. Check the second parameter, arena and Y. And in this case, it's one side or another. Okay, so we need to save those information, but we still don't know how to use them. So now that we know that this is the third, let's say, this is the third test from the number 2, we need to define a starting point, like here. For now, we just define the furthest point in each side. So we can just have... We can just define the point. Okay, so let's see. First, we need to define the variable. Let start puzzle x and let start puzzle y. We could make it into a... No, it's fine. For now, it's 0, 0. So in the case the furthest part from the arena is the left, we can say the start puzzle x is the left side. Otherwise, it's the right side. We can make it by default. So instead of an else, it maintains the original value. Okay, and same with the y. The start puzzle y is the start of the arena y. Otherwise, by default, it's the end of the arena. That means at the end I define a corner. I should also have another variable to save something. So let I want to save the direction. So destination direction. For now it's well, again, the direction we don't want, right? For example, the default is the start of the arena x and y, so those two. That means it will go left and up, which is 4 and 8. The other side, which is not the default, is this one, which is 6 and 2. We probably do something like this. So horizontal one and vertical one. Again, I save here the two directions. Wait. I think I should move from the other perspective, right? Yeah, okay. So by if we consider the starting point here, I need to move left, up and right. So yeah, should be 4 and 8, which are again on the numpad the direction numbers. Okay, and here, if the one side, the starting point is the left, I need to move on the right. That means the value here is 6. In this case, it's 2, because I need to move below. Okay, so I defined the parameters. Now, I have the starting point. The starting point is here. Now I need to define the path here. I think I would have a random chance. Based on the distance even. We can leave that alone. We can have a random chance to move in one direction, which is or up or left. A random. Until we reach the border here. If we reach here, we can only go left. This simple. Even better, we can make that at random we change direction, which is basically the same thing, right? Yes, but this will be more important because we need to know when we change direction, because it means we pushed a rock in front of us. So there needs to be a rock at some point in the path, and only one. I would say right after your turn. But we can randomize it if we want. I don't really want though. Okay, so we got a change direction random is mat random, and we can just check if it's more than 0.5. Because mat random goes between 0 and 1. Okay, though we need also to save the current direction, sure. We can start horizontally since the arena is wider. So the starting direction is the first value. In the default case 4. So we move left to start. Why there's a mistake? I'm not declaring this again. What do you want? I'm definitely not declaring you again. Oh, come on. I'm not declaring you. What's your issue? I'm confused. The current direction is the first of those values, right? Then how can I get it? Oh, wait. Maybe I'm messing up something. Yeah, I definitely am. So current direction is, okay, yeah, like this. Still, it was weird it didn't work. Okay, the first direction to move is 4. So we are moving left as a first direction. Here. And now we have a loop. A while even. While the current x doesn't match. So let path x is we start at the starting point, start puzzle x. Same with path y. We start on those coordinates, we know. No, wait. Yeah, we start at those coordinates. And the target is the end tile here. So while path x is different from end tile x, and even for the y, until we don't reach it, we won't stop, hoping it doesn't crash anything. I shouldn't go overboard, right? Yeah, it shouldn't. Okay. We need later to do something, but for now, let's go. Every time we define if we change direction at random, but only if we can afford to do it. What does it mean? We cannot move right or move here if the enemy is on the way, or if we are out, if you're out of the range. Again, if I move right, then up, up, left, up, I cannot move up again because I would be out. So I forcibly need to change direction. Let's see. How do we do it? We need to check the next tile we would move towards. Why is it never easy to work on directions? So we need to have the same thing again. The direction values here. Pretty convenient. Okay. Now, if... should I delegate it to another... Yeah, I should delegate it to another function, maybe. And check if next tile is walkable. If tile is walkable, okay, here. We need to check. Let's see. We get information of chords. So here, if check if tile is walkable, and we send the chords, which again are path X and path Y. We need to check on the next tile though. We need to check the tile next to this one. So first we need to define if we change direction at random. Then we update the current direction based on that. How do we switch it? I think we can do like this. If current direction is the X direction, then it becomes the Y direction. Otherwise, if the direction is the vertical direction, it becomes the horizontal direction. Simple. Wait, it should be an else, otherwise it's always the second one. Okay. Now. After we check those, we change the direction or not, but we need still to check if the direction is valid. So we need to check the coordinates of the next tile. We know the direction, so we just need to sum to the coordinates this one. So if we are checking the right tile, we sum -1 to the X and 0 to Y. So direction values based on the current direction. Same on the path Y. Okay. If the tile is walkable, which we still need to define, that means it's valid. Otherwise, it's a problem. Otherwise, we need to undo the change direction random. We need again to switch those two. We can have a... No, it's fine. Here. Again, we switch the two if they were not valid. And we undo the change direction random. How do we switch? Let's see. Change direction random becomes the opposite. Here. Okay, now we invert change direction random, so we don't change direction if we did, and we change if we didn't. What's the next step? I'm getting kinda lost. Now, what are we doing now? I lost my focus. So we are... What are we even doing now? Wait, did someone else took my body? Because I feel like I forgot what I was doing entirely. Did I time travel into the past? Or into the future? What? Where am I? What am I? Am I streaming? Hello? Is the stream on? Am I streaming? No, I'm kidding here. I was trying to draw a path from one corner to the center. No, to the value 2 here. Avoid it to go out. If it's impossible, it will change direction. If it's impossible though, it should check. I should check again if the tile is walkable. If it's not, it's impossible path. Okay. I would say to run this one only if it's not possible. Since we don't do anything if it's possible. If it's possible, we do it here. Okay. If it's a valid direction, finally, yeah, good. We add the point to the list. So we should have a list, now that I realize. So, here, let path 1, or how did I call it here? Final path here. And we, of course, start with start puzzle X, start puzzle Y. It should be defined later though, because here we still need to define to find the right start point. Okay, here. And there should be an extra parameter here, which is if we randomly change direction. I think this should be defined later then. So, on each path, we should check the next parameter, the next coordinate, yeah. So, when it's a y direction, we add the current tile, not the tile we are moving towards, the current tile into the final path. We push the value path X, path Y, and also the extra parameter, which is if we change the direction at random, which is important to add rocks later. And then we change the values. Path X increases based on the direction we are moving towards, and same with the Y. Okay, and then we continue the while until we reach the end tile. I would be surprised if this one doesn't crash the game in an infinite loop. That's it. We make a return false just in case, but later we can fix this. I can fix her, like the code. If this works, we could stop and continue next time and add all the rocks and do the actual minigame. Hopefully. So after the while, we return the final path. Easy. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing a lot of things, but let's see now what happens. So here, path 1 info, define. So one, for now, it's like this. Let's see. Where is the console log? Well, console log, path 1 info. And let's see what happens. I would be very surprised if this doesn't crash and or infinite loop. Let's see. Okay, yeah, kind of in the expectation. So we are still not in the gem team. 465. What's wrong? Property of undefined. Direction values is undefined. Where? Current dir is defined here. What's your problem exactly? 75. Should I also count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, does it say on the... Ah, below, here. Column. Nah, okay, that's better. 75. Okay, yeah. Weird that here it's valid. Here it starts not getting valid. So again, current direction. Wait. Hey, the direction is a number between 2 and 8. Here it's only between 0 and 1. Right? Yeah. Not a problem. We can add empty values. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I should at least stick with a method and not use different ones, but here it works. Impossible path, okay. We're getting somewhere though. It didn't crash. Why is it an impossible path though? It shouldn't be anything blocking the way. Oh wait, this one doesn't return anything. Return true for now. I would say yeah, because we didn't define this one. And if I leave it like this, it's an infinite loop. Okay, we can do this one and stop. So, check if time is walkable. We have the course. We also need, though, the destination. Because here we send the next tile, right? But we also need to send another parameter. Because we need to say if we overshoot something. And from which direction. Yeah, it's not that straightforward. We don't know if we overshoot it in one direction. I would make another condition then. Ah no, wait, we already do the condition here. Do we? No, not really. Here we just switch them if we change direction at random, right? No. What I'm doing here exactly? What I'm doing here exactly? Yeah, okay, here I switch direction, but this should be checked. I switch direction only at random. Here I switched every time. Okay, here. Here I switch direction, but but we also need to check if we are overshooting. So let's check. Overshooting. Overshooting, it's when we are going like, let's see. If we are on this tile and we choose to randomly move up, we are overshooting the 2 here. We should move in this range. So we just need to check if the tiles are on the same height. So. I choose a complicated way to do it, but here. to see if we are overshooting, we need first to realize in which direction we are moving. Vertical or horizontal. If first we check the direction we are moving towards. If current dir also. Okay, it's defined here. If current dir is 4 or 6, so we are moving horizontally, then we need to compare the horizontal position to the ending one. Destination direct and tile 0. So if then tile 0, the X position, 4 and 6, we are moving horizontally. So that means we need to check the no, we need to check the horizontal one. Yeah. The end tile X is equal to the path X. That means we are about to overshoot. So yeah, overshooting is true. Same for the Y. If we are going down or right, or we can make an else, we can put this other condition inside to see if we are overshooting vertically. Okay, so if we are overshooting, or if the next tile is not walkable, then yeah, we switch direction definitely. For now, this will return true. So the overshooting is the main discriminator. Let's see. I would be very surprised if it works. Okay. Could be worse, I don't know how. 47.8. Undefined. What's undefined? Direction values? It's here. What am I reading? Why? Did I mess up the loop? Yeah, I did mess up the loop. No. The why? Ah, yeah, I did mess up the loop. Never mind. So we need to get the right values. Okay. I copy-pasted from the previous part. It didn't crash, let's see. Wait, didn't push the right way, but here we have a path. Does it work? Does it work? Let's see, we can make something like this. So, 12.3. That's a value you can walk towards. Ah, yeah, here, the corner. No, the corner is, one tile above. Okay, we should decrease by 1, but here, 12.3. Change direction, so it goes down, right? Yeah, 12.4. Change direction, goes left. 11.4. Why it's always true, the change direction? No, never mind, not always. Though weird that it changes always direction. Though you can see it feels right? Goes 10.5, 10.6. Where do you want to go? Near the player, probably. Okay. Wait, we need to consider that it can't go beyond the player. It cannot pass through the player. So we should give priority first to the side closer to it, right? Okay, this requires an extra work, but here we are on the right path. 9.6, 8.6, and stops here. Why do you stop? It's not over. You're still far away. Still, it didn't crash and seems to almost work. But I think we can stop here. We can do a 2-episode side. Wait, it's here. So maybe here was kinda fine. No, wait, it was here that stopped. 8-6. Oh, how did I open? No. It stopped at 8-6. It should at least do one extra step. Oh, wait, no, it's... No, it's wrong. The player is here. And I stopped here. I should at least stop here or here. On the side near. Maybe it stopped then one time before. That means... How, though? How? Wait. The condition is wrong. It stops when only one axis aligns, not when the position is right. So, while either of them is wrong, so while the player X and Y both don't match with the destination, or to be precise, when the X position doesn't match or the Y position doesn't match. So either of them needs to be false. That means the player needs to be on the exact position. Okay. Oh, we need though. What did I say we need? Here. To do. Check if... No. Set overshooting if the destination tile is beyond player. Even if there could be possibilities to save it, but we still need to fix this one. Also, another thing. What was the thing? Yeah, so -1 to map borders. Those are the things we will do next time. And we probably need to check if we in any way need to go outside of the map, which is not allowed. And also another thing, we should consider the enemies. And yeah, another important thing, if not possible, loop to a limit. So if the first time we do the path it's not valid because an enemy is blocking the path, we should try again. Like 10 times, 20 times, even more doesn't lag. But at a certain point we stop and say, okay, it's impossible, or very improbable. Okay, so we have the things to do next time. And of course, place every rock. But yeah, I like how we are losing a lot of time on a mini game, but it's kinda important for the game. I hope the next will be a little easier, but I kinda doubt it. Okay, so we will stop here. We will continue the day after tomorrow. Let me correct myself, because tomorrow we are trying other RPG Maker games. We will never stop playing those. So, that's the end for today's stream. We will continue tomorrow at this hour, like the hour we are right now. And the day after tomorrow we continue making this one at the day we started the stream today. Yeah, you need to pay attention here to if you're interested. If you're not, don't worry, it's fine. Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate you for staying here. A big shout out to everyone. Why not shout out everyone? That's way easier. And we see ya whenever happens. Bye bye.